Okay. I'm gonna try to not make that many videos today, but I think what I'm gonna do every day is make one or two video per day, maybe two max, maybe three max. Uh, but I just gotta say thank you, God. You have to be thankful, even if you're going through some horrible things, and even though life is just being so manipulated, and tormented, and changed, and reality is just no longer reality. And you hear people who have to be dedicated to it to do their job. This is part of the task. For example, right now, after being manipulated to react a certain way, I hear this individual. So this perps, when they interact with you via V2K, they try to sound sensible, or they try to have these ways of interacting with you to try to make it sound like I should connect with logically and identify with these manipulations. To me, I'm just thankful to life, to God that I didn't have to live my life sounding like this, saying the things I'm saying. There's this individual who sounds like a male individual. After getting the manipulation I got, I could hear him say something like, "Oh no, this is coming from something. This is a bait. This reaction is coming from somewhere." And what he's saying, and what he's trying to say is, we are rewiring you, but the rewiring, the reaction you're getting, is coming from somewhere. So yes, we are making you experience something that we're making you experience, but this something that you experience is coming from you. We're just making you feel something that you felt before. Basically saying, yes, we are manipulating you to experience that, but this experience has been experienced in the past. Now, understand the logic that alone means. It means that your brain is being manipulated to experience what you experience. That they are doing something for you to experience what you experience. That something is being manipulated for you to experience what you experience. That alone should call out that something needs to be done to you for you to experience this, that you alone naturally, organically will never experience any of that unless they're in your brain making you experience something you've experienced. Now, this man is even sounding a way like this should be like, oh, I made so much sense. You just admitted to me that you're making me feel something that you make me experience, but the logic you want me to have that this thing that I'm experiencing has been experienced before. There's a base that you're getting it from. So you this and they want me to be like, oh, okay, so you are manipulating me, but the manipulation that I'm experiencing is something I've experienced before. This is a grown man, and the way he says that, these people can really they can really be like the way they have to stay in character is comical. It's like me looking at this person like, you know what, you felt this before. Like, I'm looking at him, it's like he make him experience something. He said, yeah, but there's a base on how we make you experience this. Something come from somewhere. Well, if you were in my brain, then I would not experience that. That's what you're saying. So what I'm experiencing right now, why, and the reason why, the sole reason why I'm experiencing what I just experienced is you're in my brain doing something to my brain to make me experience that, right? They want you to like block out this logical thing you just said. Because to them, this is falsified. They even manipulate your memory as a child. And the thing, by the way, it's childhood. By the way, it's not even like you felt like no, not when you're a kid, but you got it from somewhere when you were a child. You experienced that. They manipulate my childhood memories to make me experience the same thing. But we're talking about childhood. On top of everything, and by the way, they're saying that in the most very serious. Yeah, this is based on what you experienced when you were a child. There's something. The way this man said that, you will think that I'll be like, oh, huh, that makes a lot of sense. You've picked something I experienced when I was a child, and you're making me experience it today as an adult. Wow. I'm telling you, target individual, be lucky that you're not the one trying to make somebody think this is logical. And they're dedicating this retardation of ways of thinking. Obviously, your brain is being manipulated. Okay, you're not being. This is not something that experience naturally. They can manipulate your brain. They can make you have any emotional reactions, stimulations, sensation, even thought process that they want you to have. Then they have people who then, once you've been forced to experience this reaction that you organically by yourself, if you're yourself, will not experience. But because your brain is hooked to this device that can manipulate and rewire your brain, you're experiencing it this way. And then you have purpose. From some of them are really childlike minded people. They send them, I call them the Navy SEAL, the Green Beret of all. And then you have this guy who tried to sound like he's just, I'm so sensible and makes so logical. I'm so logical that you should be connected to this logic. And I'm like, you're a grown ass retard. I'm sorry for saying that, for the retard part. I don't know what the term I can use when I hear somebody who even makes himself sound this way. That I'm that I'm supposed to be acceptive of this. That I should listen to your very sensible voice, your serious voice, and be like, you know what? Yes, they are manipulating me, but they're manipulating me the way I used to experience things when I was a child. Oh, yeah. I will never let them live the fantasy. Listen to this. First of all, let me show you what they make me experience. Um, there was this picture on. It's always on like dating apps, wherever I'm at. When there's kids, especially little girls. Oh my gosh, little boys is hard because at the end of the day, I have a picture with me and a little boy. But little girls, that's where they do these nasty things. Like, no, with little girls is real. We mapped it. And there's this little girl, and she, it's the little girl, very pretty little girl, but also they have the filter on that kind of make it look different. But let me bring it up before, and I'm saying that they try to play with my mouth. They try to make me have some kind of reaction every time I say that, to torment me. Okay. See this kid, and they have like the filter on. You can see the thing. This baby, making me have reaction. And try to be like, no, but you felt like that. Remember when you were a kid, you felt like this and that. And it's like, no, there's a base to it. It's like, yes, the base is the you in my brain, manipulating my brain to experience that. This base is based on what you're doing to my brain. The reason why I'm getting this sensation, stimulation, I'm not going to try to analyze where it is because I know where it's coming from. It's coming from you guys in my brain, playing my brain. These people... And then they send this child retards that they try to, supposed to gaslight me. It's like, nah, not real. When they say that in the hallway. This is what, listen, they make you have this sensation, the stimulations, which this technology can make you have. However, they make you experience it, they're making you experiencing that. The only reason why I'm experiencing this is because they in my brain making me experience this. This retardation of like, no, but you felt like that. This is another level of stupidity that you shouldn't even go to it. I made the mistake before. But even that, your childhood is manipulated memories. Your experience as a child was manipulated. And they try to really make you accept that I should be acceptive that what you're doing to me, it makes sense because I'm just making you think the way you thought when you were a kid. And they truly want to be like, oh, no, you see, we mapped it. Is a map? What? Who the F could ever look at somebody? He's like, no, we just made your brain like the way you experienced when you was a kid. We mapped it to what you experienced. I don't know how they can be dedicating this level of retardation, but I'm here to help them because I'll be like, listen, this is the mirror. Like, look. Does it make sense when you see this? This is what you're saying to me in this mystic voice. Do I look like this? Just because you got paid to do this retardation of trying to make somebody accept this manipulation, I'm never going to let you live your fantasy. And that, no, but little girls is real, little boys is fake. Little boys, little girls, whatever it is you in my brain making me experience this. I don't care how you want me to be analyzing, where does it come from? How did you... It comes from you being in my brain, manipulating my brain to experience that. See, these people... They really want you to normalize the fact that they're playing with your brain. How were we able to play your brain to make you experience that? They want me to be like, oh, you know what? I think the way you rewire my brain is because you do. Like, it should be a normal thing to think that your brain can be manipulated to experience what you're experiencing. This is the level of has they, like, it's like, I'm just thankful to God that I'm able to see for what it is. They want you now at this point to start analyzing the way they are rewiring your brain, manipulating your brain. Oh no, but this is true because when you were a kid, you kind of felt like that. Oh my God, Jesus. And they want you to be like, you see, you are playing with my brain. That's the only thing I need to analyze is, are they manipulating my brain? Yes. Is my brain being manipulated to experience something? Yes. Would you experience that naturally? Nope. This is the only reason why I'm experiencing this is because you are in my brain, playing with my brain, and making me experience whatever you want me to experience. They're making me experience whatever you designed for me to experience. And then you have these retards of some childlike people, the green beret, the top of the line of childlike, try to make you accept these things. And then you hear this guy mistakeful, you try to sound mistakeful. No, there's a base of the base is you in my brain, manipulate my brain. Then try to make me find a way to logically explain how you are manipulating my brain. They want me to be like, people should have their brain manipulated. And then we should be like, oh no, but how are you able to manipulate my brain this way? It is truly in their mind. This is something they want you to. Do you understand the way they just rewire themselves? That's the brain. You should start analyzing how we who manipulate the brain to give you this disgusting reaction. How are we able to make you experience that? How are we able to manipulate you to experience that? Instead of, why are you manipulating my brain to experience that? They truly try to make you accept it. Like, no, but when you were a kid, yeah? You guys are renowned to manipulate human beings in these disgusting ways of experiencing things. This is a part of this program. It's designed to degrade you, to break you down. But with this purpose, they think that I'll be like, oh man, how are they able to How? Because this technology has the ability to manipulate your neural network and put it back in your brain to make you experience the design reaction they want you to experience. Now, for them, not only they do that, then they try to make you, with this thought process that's rewired, to make you identify and accept this logic. That's, when you were a kid, remember, that just make me think of me, and then remember when you see that little girl like that, did you feel like something similar? I'm like, what the hell? And they're making noise campaign because that is just like, hey, baby, that makes sense. No. This is because you are making me think this way today. You manipulate my brain today, and then you go to my childhood memories, manipulate my childhood memories, and then think about, as a child, you experienced that. And then this perps contracted, honking. The whole ecosystem is supposed to try to make you accept this retardation. Listen, this is how stupid things can be in a target individual mind, where they truly want you to start analyzing how these perps who have the ability to manipulate your brain are able to make you experience that. What do they manipulate for you to experience that? Oh, was this coming from the childhood that you experienced that? What? The question is about how they're able to manipulate. Is why are they manipulating you to experience that? And the why is because the reason why you experience this thing is because they want you to feel a degrading reaction towards children. And they want you to identify with these manipulations. Try to be a number. As a child, this is you. I'm not a child. And please understand that a child brain, which you know very well, is not comparable to an adult brain. You know very well. I know that. That's why I can delude myself to be a genius. Because I know that everybody here knows that the brain of an adult should not be comparable to a brain of a child. But because these people are dedicated to this retardation of logic, I'm now sound like I'm a genius for saying this. You will never want to compare a brain of an adult with a brain of a child. You see how much of a genius I am? You see the wiseness I have now? This purpose wants you to think this way. Because the truth is, this is what's happening. Listen. And as I'm saying these very wise words, these genius words, this perp who's talking this mystical way, it's like, now you're gonna hurt. Now you try to change the subject. Because I guess the wisdom I have is just so ultimately wise that he wants to change the subject into whatever torture I'm gonna go through. Oh, now you're gonna hurt. Yeah, I know. Are you saying that because I sound too wise right now? My intellect is just so supreme right now? Do you say I'm gonna be raped, stretched? Yeah, I know. You're saying that now. Not just to make me aware of that, but because you want to stop this wisdom that I'm spinning out. I'm saying this extreme wisdom that in every way you look at it, you're just an idiot to think I'll ever subscribe and identify to the manipulation. That obviously my brain is being manipulated for me to experience this reaction, and you are participating in the manipulation for a man to have this reaction toward children, then try to compare it to try to make me think now what we're doing, we're making you think the way you thought when you were a child. As if that on its own makes even any sense. That you will try to make somebody who's an adult have a brain of a child. And that should be the base, you understand. And then, yeah, now they are. You say, yes, there are people involved in manipulating my brain to experience this nasty reaction. And these perps have been doing that for years. But listen to how nasty they are. I will never let them live their fantasy.
In order to remotely pick up on someone's neural network or EEG and not only receive that and monitor it, but manipulate it and place it back into the victim to control their emotions or control their actions.
So, picking up the neural network and not only monitor it, but then manipulate it and put it back in your brain to control the emotion or design emotion that they want want you to have. And they're like, no, but where do we manipulate that from? It's like, no, you are in my brain, changing my brain to make me experience this reaction.
Or bodily functions, for that matter. The other more recent term we have for that is EEG heterodyning or EEG cloning. The difference between EEG heterodyning and EEG cloning would be, let's say, me remotely receiving your EEG and then duplicating it and putting that in another person to give them your same thoughts or feelings or physical reactions. EEG heterodyning would be receiving your EEG, manipulating it to put it back inside your head to give us a desired physical reaction or emotional reaction.
So you hear the noise campaign. They're supposed to make me stop thinking that, oh, this man literally said that they can take your brain, neural network, manipulate it, and put it back in your brain for you to experience whatever design reaction or emotional reaction, action, any thought, whatever reaction that they want you to have. Like literally can control how you react to certain things. And they're like, no, but if we're getting it from somewhere, maybe your child, wherever you're trying to make me. It's not. I don't. These bullshit stories of how they want me to think. No, but it should make sense because when you're a kid, we're just making you feel the reaction you felt when you were a kid, and we put it back. What? That alone sounds just idiotic. Even that is falsified. But to try to make me accept this in this way, and then on top of that, try to make me think that I should be acceptive, that the brain of me when I'm a child should be overlaid in the brain of an adult man on its own shows how stupid you have to be to try to make me accept these things, and then you hear this person with their tonality. No, they so are so you clown, as if they don't know that. Okay, brains are not supposed to be rewired. You know that, right? The brain is not supposed to be manipulated, because once brains are manipulated and rewired, this means this person is no longer the same person. They're not the same individual at this point, because their brain is being manipulated to experience what others want them to experience. Right? But of course, I'm too wise. I'm too much of a genius. Maybe they use these condescending voices. Oh no, they are. That's so. It's like, yeah, okay. Okay, play this clown in front of me. Like, just imagine yourself. Just be like, no, it's so you. No, but when we manipulate your brain, we manipulate. We take it from you as a what? Clowns forcing people to have this reaction to children and be like, no, we mapped it. So you were. No, I wasn't. And no, I'm not. And no, I'm not going to identify to something that you manipulate me to experience. Where does something comes from? It comes from you guys manipulating my brain. Can you imagine? These people, on top of that, are renowned to manipulate people in these pedophilia ways of reacting to children.
And so this gets into what's called there are four different techniques and technologies that can pipe voices into an individual's head. And once you can do that, you can control them using neuro-linguistic programming techniques. You're rewiring their thought processes and brains. And so this gets into what's called offensive information warfare. And they used it, I believe, in the Gulf War to tell the enemy at that time, lay down your guns, this is Allah. And it worked pretty well, because hearing voices which have no direction or sound, you have to assume that it's some spiritual entity. So it works pretty well. And then, I don't know if I'm going to get into this, but there's something called hyper game theory. How do you, they want to see if they can manipulate people to do things that are irrational, but also walk them to their death. And so you can call it a eugenics program even. And they need to sample all cultures, language throughout the world to define their probability matrices of which tricks, techniques, deception works.
They would try to counter this, because this man said there's 4 different techniques. And when they said that, they're like, no, 4, remember what she does is trash us. Then he goes ahead and says how they rewire the thought process, which is proving what they're exactly doing. Rewiring the thought process and the brain. And this is these ways of implanting this offensive information warfare. And they found the trickery. They're basically using this. They have the matrices of some sort where they test out what trickery, deceptive tactics works. For example, their tactics, they try to make me accept to this manipulation. Now we manipulate to you when you were a kid. We get it from some from you as a kid, and then 4-year-old, and then talk about dumbass me when I'm in middle school doing the dumb thing I did to myself, which never happened again. To them, this is like, oh my gosh, we can use that. It's like, no. Even as a child that age, I never thought this way. But on top of that, I'm a grown man. So you who are rewiring the brain, and they rewired the brain very specific ways, are forcing me to have this sexual stimulation, this reaction towards this baby, and then try to make me accept the way I'm experiencing. What I'm experiencing today is you when you're a child, when I'm an adult. And that alone should be an acceptive tactic. And in my brain, like, you see, that makes sense. Remember what I did as a child. I never experienced this thing. This experience that you make me experience is what you falsify in me as a child. But on top of that, for me to see this kid in these ways, to experience this nasty reaction, the only reason and the sole reason why I'm experiencing this perception, this sensation, this stimulation, is because this perps, low life like you, bunch of low life trash involved in the program that torture even children, that are rewiring my brain to make me experience what I'm experiencing today. So what's the base on how I'm experiencing this? It's very simple. It's because there's technology that can manipulate the brain, that can rewire the brain to make somebody experience something he or she will not experience organically unless somebody is manipulating or something is manipulating the brain to make them experience this way. And then as I'm hearing this, this purpose will church tell me how I'm going to be framed and you're going to be right in jail and this and that. Because they try to block out what you just heard. The wisdom is too strong. Oh, you're going to be tattooed. They're going to tattoo things like they can tattoo pedophile here. I know the reason why I'm experiencing this pedophilia type of reaction is because these pedos are rewiring my brain in these ways. That I will never experience this nastiness, this reaction, unless there's people who say, no, there is, manipulating my brain to experience this. And by the way, guess what's the common tactic they've been using to break people down? By the fact, right now, they still think, they're box dating because, you as a kid, that's like me as a kid. Listen to this.
How do you control a brain? Most people won't.
Malodorants. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture.
This woman called it the pedophilia type of torture because when they rewire you, they can rewire so many other things. They can rewire your thought process. They can rewire your memories. They can rewire your eyes, your perception. They can rewire your sense of smell. And when as they do that, as you can hear the dog trying to counter the reality, they use their dog, their analysts. They can rewire your sense of smell. And when they rewire her sense of smell, guess what they do? They make her smell baby powder. And guess what happens when she smells baby powder? When they make her smell baby powder?
Malodorants. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture.
The pedophilia type of torture. Oh, by the way, when they when she say she smelled burn, they like burn him to try to counter the fact that she's gonna say something that validates me. That they do this pedophilia type of manipulations when they force you to experience these nasty things. So they make her smell baby powder because they can rewire the sense of smell, and then make her have this pedophilia type of reaction, which is what they can do. And what they've been doing to me, which in my brain, they're like, no, but with you, what we're doing, we're making you think the way you thought when you were a child, and this and that. Matter of fact, we're going to frame you by saying our child was raped by you. Do you understand? Oh, please continue. Let me let you listen.
Threat of planted dreams and videos in my
Tactic of belief systems into human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
Oh, this is survey too. There was a survey in 2014 or so, 2015, around that time. And this man who wrote this book, the one who's talking about rewiring the brain and this and that, he said that when he interviewed a bunch of target individuals, about 1,000 or so, almost all of them said they plant some child porn in their mind because they can create imaginations and thoughts. They can implant thoughts and imagination. And they will have this imagination implanted in somebody's brain. Child porn. Indicative that what? And by the way, almost all of them. Indicative that this pedophilia type of manipulation is something that's commonly done. And I know it's very commonly done because even during petitions from target individual, this comes up over again. Right? And you have perps like, no, that's not true. Some of them try to sound sensible still.
End my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. It's disgusting, disgusting, disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. The human nervous.
So at the end, this man said, or this transgender woman, I should say, said, "Oh, I have to acknowledge that the people that manipulate my brain to make me have this thought of pedophilia, some of them around me. I'm hearing these nerds, neighbors, these bottom feeders next door, trying to make me accept these things. You understand the validation? You know what's the base of me experiencing this? Is the base is coming from bottom feeders like low life like you, who are in my brain, rewiring the brain, rewiring my neural network to make me experience this reaction toward children. This low life really want me to be like, no, but where are they manipulating it from? How are they able to manipulate me to experience that? You think this is what I'm going to focus on? How are you able to manipulate me this way? The question is like, why am I being manipulated to experience this way? These people have lost the shit to think that I'm going to ever let them live their fantasy. And then as I'm saying these very wise things, target individual, they bring up the fact that I'm going to be knocked out, I'm going to be tortured, I'm going to do this, because they, just like any gaslighting method, they try to disorient you, diverge. Because as a target individual, they want you to accept this nonsensicalness of reality they put together. Because you have super validated that your brain is manipulated for you to see this thing in this nasty way. To see this picture of this baby, this little girl, and this little girl there in this disgusting pedophilia way. To get this reaction means that your brain has been manipulated. But they want you to be like, okay, it's manipulated, but it's manipulated coming from somewhere when you were a child or something that we're mimicking, bringing it back as an what? Listen to what you just said. You're saying that my brain has to be restructured in the way of a child. And I should be, oh, that makes sense. That is the norm. Hey, we should all have a brain manipulated as us as children or something like that. That makes a lot of sense. That brain should be restructured in certain ways. And that is falsified too, because your memories as a child is also manipulated. And they make me think of like, oh, but this kid don't think. You think I'll ever want to have a brain of a child? These people are delusional. And on top of that, it's falsified. They're even falsifying childhood memories to make you accept this retardation of logic. Then go back to like, oh, but what you did as a child. Like, well, that's exactly what a child brain can do. The impulsive stupidity of a child can do an impulsive thing and never think twice about it. That's why children are children and adults are adults. But these perps who manipulate this brain in these pedophilia ways want you to accept this. Now we're mad, Dad. Now you manipulated. And it is my brain. And that's why they use these perps that are childlike minded, or not too far from being children, or have to restructure themselves to be children, or to think like children, or to want you to think like children, to accept these things. They have their dogs barking and everything to try to disorient you, because this is the nonsensicalness of this nastiness. And let me show you again. And I'm opening up my legs because they're going to try to give me a sexual reaction toward this child, which is what they've done. And they could have made it worse, but this baby, let me see. And they stimulate me immediately. The stimulation is crazy. This child. Stimulation, intense. Right now I can feel it. As I've tried to put my hand back on my... immediately. And I'm supposed to be like, no, it's so you. We're mapping it. Well, you've been validated that this is what they can do. This fake thing that you just heard.
The human nervous system, in order to remotely pick up on someone's neural network or EEG, and not only receive that and monitor it, but manipulate it and place it back into the victim to control their emotions or control their actions.
You understand? And I'm supposed to like, no, but little girls is real. Remember, we mapped it, now you paid. Yeah, okay. Doing whatever they can to try to disorient you, to not see what it is. That your brain is being manipulated for you to experience this. They can make me have it toward anything they want to. But then try to manipulate your process, thought process that no, but with girls, little girls is you. Remember when you were a kid, remember you felt this feeling? You know, remember what you did as a... And they're like, oh, you see, that's proof we're not manipulating your brain. Yes. And not only they rewire the brain, they renown to rewire the brain in these pedophilia ways. Forcing you to have sexual stimulation toward children. There's even mothers with children who say, hey, they do this program perversion, and guess what they do it? They aim it toward children. Uh-huh. Target individuals, stay strong. You are no longer yourself. If you're dealing with synthetic telepathy and this V2K technology, at that point, your thought process, your reactions are all manipulated. This EEG cloning, heterodyning, as is mentioned, means that they can make you experience whatever sense of emotion or reaction they want you to have. Any thought process can be manipulated the way they want you to experience it. It's a degrading tactic. It's this offensive information warfare, they call it, that is supposed to make you accept this reaction. And these people truly think that being manipulated should be something that you accept. How are we manipulating you like this? How are we able to manipulate you to experience that? They truly want you to start thinking this way. As if being manipulated is something that should be accepted. They truly want you to be like, how are we able to make you experience that? Because you manipulate my brain. Okay, but how can we manipulate your brain this way? And then when they try to make you think in this retarded way, it's like they're gonna rape you. It's like, yes, you who frame people, you're just gonna frame me using your children, saying that your child was raped by me. You involved in a program that rewires the brain in disgusting ways. You involved in a program that actually even tortured children. Will frame me where horrible things are gonna happen to me. But thank God that before this happened, I was able to see things for what they are. And your damn ass have to live life, try to convince this retardation of thoughts. You who had the ability to live the honor and dignified life is out here trying to make me think, yeah, I see. Trash. You're just an opportunist low life that works for pedophiles. These entities actually that came up with this technique to rewire the brain in this way are ranked 19th out of 2,900 for child porn trafficking. Well, this trash are here now, we mapped it. Life is so fair in the sense that this information is such a deadly information. To find out that the entities that are here coming up with this technology that can EEG, heterodyning, cloning you, are the same entities that are being ranked by this child protective service as like the top tier in regard of child porn trafficking within a network, a computer network. Being one of the most child porn traffic network. And when I mean network, I mean computer network. So the DoD network was the 19th out of 2,900 network for trafficking some of the most child porn. Those are the same entities coming up with this EEG cloning, heterodyning technology, contracting these losers. That's supposed to make me think this is logical. God is good. I know what I'm going to go through. It's going to be horrible. But man, I could have lived life like this. Imagine you're the one trying to make somebody accept these things. Now we mapped it. Now I come from some base. What's the base coming from? What this reaction is this base? The base comes from you in my brain, manipulating my brain. They want you to like, no, but when you was a kid, so you were wiring me as a kid. I said, you dumbass. What? Why would my brain need to be manipulated as me as a child? Why would my brain be rewired this way? Why is my brain being rewired? Period. Why can my brain not be rewired? Why is my brain has to be changed for me to experience that? You want me to experience that when I see children? And you are manipulating my brain to experience that? What does it make you? You piece of dumbass. Lord, thank you, God. Stay strong, target individual. Because this is, they truly are staying character. They're dedicated to these characters. and the way they talk to you, you would think that these people are here. Oh my gosh, no, this is the biggest system. I'm like, can you imagine you getting paid to do this? When I see them in person, it's like this person could have been the one talking to me like this. This is the base. Yeah, the base is you fucking my brain, making me experience these things. Then try to make me think that now that's when you were a kid. You were. Then try to talk about how I'm gonna be raped and tortured. Be strong. You're gonna be raped so much. I'm like, I'd rather get raped so much than being able to do whatever I want, and I'm here doing this dumbness. Who knows what the fuck's gonna happen to me? At least in my horrible torture, there's dignity. Look at you. You live life in this nasty way. I will not want to trade places with you. I know you're gonna see me go through some horrible things, but trust me, I will not be like, oh, I could live life like this man who's talking about how I'm gonna be strong. Death comes to all of us. You can't even say the name of these pedophiles. You work for governmental entity filled with pedophiles on top of me being validated over everything else. Jesus. This feels like a biblical experience. Now, I'm going to go through horrible things. I know these people are going to try to find joy in that. I was like, please, this is going to be such a shallow joy. It's nothing. But you being humiliated by me, and me sounding so wise by saying the most basic thing you can imagine on earth. This, I will take this over anything, any day. Over what you go through, at least. I will not, obviously. I'd rather not be a target visual or a perp. But if I had to choose become a perp like this low life, that try to make you accept this nonsensicalness, this retardation, that try to convince you to think about it in a logical way. How are we able to manipulate you this way? What? You want me to wonder how you can make me experience that when you manipulate me? You don't think I should ask, why is my brain being manipulated this way? No, that shouldn't be asked, right? Our brain should be manipulated. If the brain is manipulated, it means that you're no longer yourself. Target individuals, stay strong.